Wow. Hello everybody, and welcome to was the fifth episode?
hmm
Yeah, fifth episode. Last episode we had Pepe on, big hit. We got a lot of new followers. I think we got at least like we're up like 1,000% on our views or something. A lot of new followers, a lot of new views. Yeah, great episode last week. If you haven't watched last week, what are you doing? Probably one of our best episodes yet. Go watch it. Um, but yeah, I mean, this week, another exciting week. You know, a lot of complaints we've been getting is that we've been lacking diversity on this podcast. Um, you know, we had to do something hard. I know Ian was struggling with this a little bit, but we're gonna talk to our first girl on the podcast. Um, so yeah, we have Marina on, one of our dear friends.
So excited to be on. I've been a
Yeah,
big fan for as long as this has been happening, so I'm honored to be on it. Thank you,
yeah.
Marina.
I mean, yeah, we're really happy to have our first girl on the podcast. It shows that we can diversify and that we're like cool people, right, Ian?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
that's all he has to say.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, this week we'll talk with Marina about you know girlhood and healthy habits. So yeah, some things that I think everyone can learn about a little bit. So yeah, excited for that. Um, yeah, so we can just I guess get right into it. You ready, Ian?
Yeah, I'm ready. Just like a quick note, if you didn't notice, we're trying out a new format. We're really trying to step up our game a little bit, move away from the
Mm.
WebEx. So yeah, hopefully this goes well. Test run with a great guest. So
Yeah, Ian, you're making weird noises. I don't know how I feel about this new software.
yeah, it's pretty bad.
Um, I don't know. So I guess yeah, comment down below if you like the new software. Um, yeah. So I guess we can just start with our weekly updates. I was really busy this week. I had a whole rugby tournament. I was down in Elon, North Carolina for Friday and Saturday. So that was fun, but we lost. So that wasn't fun. And everything hurts. And I have a lot of cuts and bruises. So, but anyways, it was fun. Had a good time. Got a hotel. Um, yeah, overall, great experience. But hopefully it goes better next weekend. Like game wise. Also, I today I volunteered at my friend Cam's clinic. Essentially, what Cam does is he is like the president and founder of the Kickin' It Coalition, and that's like it's a soccer camp for kids with autism every Sunday. So that was fun to go to help run that this morning. I think it'd be cool, Ian, to have Cam on at some point talk about that because it's a really cool um, program that he runs. And it started out last semester kind of tiny, but now it's kind of it's this whole big thing. We got you know tens of kids coming out every week. So yeah, it was exciting to be a part of that this week. Um, yeah, and pretty busy week ahead, but excited and yeah. Anything you want to share?
Yeah, this was a good week for me. Pretty chill. Started to get some nice weather here.
Yeah.
I'd say the highlight of my week though was my parents came out the other day, so it was nice to see
Wait, whoa,
them.
whoa, whoa, whoa. Mr. Talty came to see you,
And Ms. Weecroft, yes.
and Miss Weecroft,
Don't forget about the
Yes.
woman,
and you
please.
didn't even let me know. Yeah, okay, you're right, Marina. This is why we need you. Honestly, I think we should have Marina on every podcast, and you can just comment about the woman every now and then.
Yeah, I'm so down.
So we don't for no, just so we don't forget about them. We don't want to be sexist.
No, I get it.
But,
Yeah.
yeah, Ian, you didn't even, yeah, yeah. Ian, you didn't even tell us. You didn't tell anyone about that. How was that? What did you guys do?
Well, we were gonna go to a baseball game, but then it got rained out because there was a lot of rain. So then we went to a history museum.
I mean, it seems right up your alley, Ian. How was that?
Yeah, it was really cool. There was actually like this exhibit on the women's baseball league from
Oh wow.
the World War II days, so that was cool. Yeah.
Seems pretty epic. Anything else happen?
Nothing out of the ordinary.
Nice. No. I just found the RX bar in my backpack. So that's pretty exciting.
What flavor?
It's blueberry.
Mmm.
Blueberry. No, that's good. I was in my health studies class this week. I was eating like one of these RX bars, and they're like literally just egg whites and almonds and like dates and whatever. We're talking about like food policy or something. I don't know. And like I was eating my bar, like my good RX bar. Um, she like in front of the whole class maybe like explained what I was eating. Yeah, that was kind of interesting. Yeah, that's my story.
It's awesome.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, you guys seem really excited.
It was a good
Like
story.
it's just no one's even responding to me. It's not a good start of the podcast. You know, our viewers were really expecting something this week with their diversity hire, and we're not even doing anything yet.
What do you want me to do? I
You
don't
got,
want
you
to.
got, whatever. It's fine. It's fine. Well, hopefully as the podcast progresses, you know, Marina, you work on your podcast skills.
Okay.
It's okay. It's okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Updates for anyone else.
Yeah, I got one. So we've mentioned our friend Julian a couple times on this podcast. Recently,
Yeah.
he's embarked on a new journey, which he's given me permission to share about. Henceforth, Julian will be losing some weight. So currently, I think he's up around 230. He's going to be dropping down to 175 over these next few weeks. So we're excited to track that progress. Big shout out to Julian. Yeah, we're excited to see
Right.
how that goes.
Marina, how do you feel about Julian being really fat now?
That's not what we said.
I mean, honestly, I haven't really seen him, so it doesn't affect me too much.
Wow.
But I'm excited.
What do you mean it
for-
doesn't affect you? His health is suffering. You don't care.
Nobody said suffering.
Well,
He's suffering.
no, I
He
can't.
can't move. He can't move.
Move.
No,
Is he
that's
just
not
bedridden?
true. That's not true. He
What
can
does he
move.
do all day then?
He sits on a couch
And just drinks water.
and eats. Lots of eating.
Okay, okay.
Oh,
We're gonna
gosh.
move on from Julian. This was meant to be a heartfelt shout out. We're proud of you,
If only you.
Julian.
If only you knew. If only you knew, Ian. Anyways,
I'm the best.
yeah, I don't know if I have any. Oh, shout out to Mora for her great performance in her recent scrimmages. She had a shutout today against Lehigh, so you know, congrats to her. She's
Did they
been
win?
playing really well. No, they lost,
Oh, okay.
but when she wasn't, she had a shutout. So, and she did good in all the drills. So, congrats to Mora. Exciting stuff. Yeah, Marina, do you have anything you want to share? I didn't ask you yet. Any exciting updates for us?
Well, I just got back from spring break, so not much has happened. Too much. I went to Puerto Rico.
And where did you
for
go?
spring break. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I saw more there. Other than that, like I did the rainforest, did a tour of Bacardi thing,
Ooh.
Old San Juan. Other than that, not much has been happening. Just a lot
You
of
see any
fun.
animals?
In Puerto Rico?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did. I saw a monkey, which I paid
Oh wow.
$20 for, just one picture with it, and it bit me.
Oh nice.
So it wasn't a really fun monkey, but it's fine. I saw a bunch of iguanas.
Wow.
Yeah, but that made me happy because I'm a lizard owner now. That's an update.
You are? Wow.
I'm a co-owner of a bearded dragon,
What's their name?
Casper.
Casper. Casper the
Yeah.
dragon.
Yeah, he'll be coming home with me this summer, so you guys can meet him.
Does he live in your dorm? In your
Yeah,
dorm?
he lives in the sorority house. He's not in my dorm, but he's downstairs. He's
Oh,
just a
that's
baby
nice.
though right now, so he's gonna grow a bunch.
Do you have to get that like approved by somebody or?
We probably should have,
Mhm.
but it
Huh.
was like a very impulsive thing we did, so we just didn't. And we've had no problems. Everyone loves him. He's a chiller. Yeah. But he's gonna live for like 10,
Nice.
15 years. So,
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
What?
Yeah.
So, Marina, you're gonna be like 30, 35, and you're still have this dragon.
Yep.
Wow. Well, that's a commitment.
I know.
Good
Yeah.
for you. I'm glad you're,
Oh, yeah.
making long-term
Well,
decisions.
it's a shared dragon, so,
Mm.
we'll go
You're
like
gonna
on and
share
off every
custody.
year with a girl who I knew like for a month. But
Oh, nice.
yeah,
That sounds like a great idea.
it makes me happy. Yeah. But that's it, yeah.
Awesome. Sorry, I'm still eating my bar. Very good. Um, yeah, I think that's all the updates I have.
Yeah, I think
So
that's
I guess we,
I was gonna say that's a great segue into what we want to talk about, building some healthy habits in college, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
and maybe getting a dragon is, a healthy habit.
Yeah, animals are super important for your mental health. Just having
No,
another.
yeah, I agree. Um, so Marina, like, in your, in the past couple months, is there anything new that you've implemented that you would say has been like beneficial in your, managing, your stress and something that's a healthy habit you would like to introduce to us?
Yeah. I think this semester especially, I've really started focusing on like wellness. So I've been like working out every day. I journal twice a day,
Mm.
and I think that's a really great way of just, de-stressing and reflecting on your day and what you want to improve on. Also, like nutrition, so important because what you eat is what you feel. So,
Mm,
getting those veggies in, blueberry, whatever you're eating right now, Chris, that's great.
thank you.
But yeah, just like getting outside too. That's been really good because it's been getting warmer here. So,
I mean, yeah, I completely agree on everything you've said. Yeah, I think honestly, I think I do all of those things right now. And I would say each of them, I would say not, each one has a decent impact, but altogether, doing that all at once, really can change how you feel. And I think, at least for me, I think the two most important things I do is just, exercising each day. Because, like, I don't know about you guys, but if I don't exercise in a day, like, I just don't feel like myself. Um, and not only way it's good, it's something I enjoy, but also it releases stress. It also helps you sleep better and overall just feel better. And I also think that, combined with eating, being obviously like not every meal has to be great, but like just being conscious of what you're putting in your body, because like when you eat like a bunch of dessert, you're gonna feel crappy after that. And I feel like for me, like especially if I have a test or something, like I'm very conscious of what I put in my body because I feel like maybe it's just me making stuff up, but I'm sure there's some literature to back this up somewhere. But like I genuinely think better when, I eat more like whole foods, less processed stuff. And yeah, I think overall I just sleep and feel better with just eating more like whole foods, less processed stuff.
100%. Are you a morning or like a night gym person?
I'm night. I can't, I'm not a morning person. I'll admit that. I think some people would maybe, maybe I'd like to disagree a little bit, but I think you ask most people, especially here at Richmond, um, yeah, I think they would say that, I'm not the biggest morning person. I've actually been getting up earlier. Um, but I never end up going to the gym in the morning. I occasionally do. Sometimes on like once or twice a week I will, but not for the most part, no. But maybe in the future that's a habit I do. I think for me, just going to the gym at the end of the day helps me wind down, helps me feel like tired and go to bed better. Um, but yeah, I mean, I know Ian's that's something Ian does. Anything you want to comment on, getting up early, Ian?
Sure, yeah. I'm definitely a morning person, but I also don't work out in the morning. I usually do it in the middle of the day at some point. Yeah, I just like to get up early and go through somewhat of a routine just to get myself going. So I think journaling, something that I really like. It's a great habit, just reflecting. I like to do it at the beginning of the day, the end of the day, right? Just to kind of bookend my day, start it well, finish it well. I also really like to, do some reading, just personal growth wise to start my day and end it. Try to
What are
build.
you reading?
Right now,
Yeah.
I'm reading a book. I have it right here. It's called The Greatest Salesman in the World.
What's it about?
It's about the greatest salesman in the world.
Okay.
Very specific.
Yeah, it's a good one. But yeah, I would say honestly the best one that I've read is. I told Chris about this one. It's called the 5 a.m. Club. It's a good one.
Chris
Very
has
good.
a question.
Chris, you have a question?
I know Ian, you're on Instagram. Marina, you're on Instagram, right?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram.
Do you know the guy that posts his morning routines, the really
Oh,
fancy water?
Serotonin. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I want to
That's
see Ian do that. Ian definitely does that that crazy stuff.
You kind of look like him, Ian, if I'm being honest.
They have the same build.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
As a compliment, Ian, he gets up at 3 a.m. and he uses Saratoga water in the ice bath to wake himself up.
Yeah.
And then he can also teleport time. He'll jump in the air and time will go 20 minutes ahead.
It's kind of crazy.
So
He's that's what happens when you can implement so many healthy habits, you can just control the world. And Ian, I think you're on the brink of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you remind me of that, Ian. You guys look similar.
Yeah.
Honestly, really similar. Yeah.
When it first came across my feed, I thought it was Ian at first, but then I checked the comments and realized it wasn't. But
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Ian, anything you want to comment on that,
Yeah, I mean, I haven't tried the jump in the air, skip ahead 20 minutes thing yet, but I
you
guess
can
that's
try it now.
Yeah, I'll work to implement that one. Try to practice that. Probably need to work on my form a little bit, but yeah, I would also say, I guess just to get back to the conversation.
Oh my gosh.
I really like the discussion you guys were having about food, nutrition. I think that's one, especially for college students. It can be hard if you come here and you have the dining hall, and maybe you like the dining hall too much. You're eating a little
Julian.
bit. Maybe you're overeating a little bit. I didn't say
Julian.
I didn't say stuff.
Well, that's what you're implying.
No,
That's what you're
it's
implying.
not.
That's
How?
literally what you're implying. That's
How
literally
is
what
that
you're
being
implying. We
implied?
talked about it at the beginning of the episode, and now, we should have gave a trigger warning at the beginning of this episode, because, Julian's going to be losing his mind. He's here about the overeating all the time.
I didn't say that. All right.
That's literally what you're
Anyway.
implying.
Okay. Anyway.
I honestly feel disrespected on behalf of Julian if you're just going to keep bringing up people eating too much.
Honestly, Julian has expressed this concern to me before. Ian specifically. It's kind of absurd.
Okay.
He's rude. I mean, there's no way to go around it.
Okay. So whether
So Ian, take a step back and think about what you're saying before you say it. This is a one-take podcast. There's no edits. No edits. So think about
I'm the one who publishes it. I know.
think about what you're saying before you say it. Okay?
Yeah, part of me being
And if you
honest-
don't have anything nice to say, keep it to yourself. Okay? That's a healthy habit.
Great shout out, Chris. I think me being on this podcast to promote diversity, that doesn't just extend to genders, it also extends to people of all shapes and sizes.
Yeah. Whether you're round or shredded like Ian, if you're Julian or Ian,
Stop.
still there's still people.
Say that. Okay. Back to what I was saying. Whether it might be a problem with like a quote unquote freshman 15, or maybe you don't like the food and you're not eating enough. Developing healthy eating habits in college can definitely be hard, but super necessary to do. I think adding structure is a big part of it. I'm a big 3 meals a day guy. Like,
Yeah.
I know not everybody likes to do a strict 3 meals, but just having some structure, making sure you're getting enough calories every day. You don't have to go crazy and track, but just having some general knowledge that you're eating enough to fuel yourself for the day, for the week. Especially like if you're implementing the other healthy habit you guys mentioned of fitness, working out, you're going to need even
Mhm.
more calories to make sure your body's working right. So just taking care of yourself.
Yeah, it's definitely a balance. I mean, I can speak on that. I used to never eat breakfast, but this semester I have, and it's just like made the ultimate difference in how I feel and how my days proceed after that.
What's your go-to breakfast?
So we have this cafe on campus called Mojo's. Lately, I've been getting like a green juice, and I'll make just like I'll have apples with peanut butter with it, and I'll have some type of like protein,
Mm.
depending on what I'm feeling that day.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think having breakfast is, it's important because like having, you sleep for, you know, 8 hours and you wake up, you're hungry, your body needs food, energy to, start, firing up your brain. So, eating breakfast is definitely a bigger part of that. And I feel like, yeah, I think for the most part, I try to eat breakfast every morning. At least something, just so I have something, you know, to fire me up, get me going. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Absolutely. I think breakfast, they say it's the most important meal of the day. A lot of people push back on that. I'm a firm believer. I
Yeah,
think breakfast,
100%.
my favorite meal. I think it's the best. I think, Chris, you also mentioned something important. In the course of that, you said, right, you sleep for 8 hours and then you get up, you want breakfast. That's another huge habit, right? You got to get enough sleep every night. Recommended
yeah,
for adults, 7 to 9 hours. Super important. And there's no one sleep schedule that's going to work for everybody, but just finding one that works for you, getting enough sleep consistently, big deal.
yeah. I mean, I've been not gonna lie, I've been struggling with my sleep lately, just because I've been so busy, and I've definitely felt a toll. Usually, I'm really good at that. I if I don't get 8 hours of sleep, I'm kind of honestly kind of miserable. Um, but I've been, hopefully this week I can get back in the habit, and yeah, I definitely think, at least for me, like. I always have like a firm cutoff at night, and I'll never pull an all-nighter, never, because, at some point, I'm a firm believer at some point, like, it sleep is more important than whatever you're doing. I feel
Yeah.
like you're losing out on potential time and you're being inefficient. Um, yeah, I mean, I think that connects back to our first podcast, which we mentioned, like how like, you know, a lot of people spend a lot of day doing stuff, but are they actually like focused and locked in? And kind of wasting time. Um, so yeah, by sleeping, you can help maximize, efficiency and also how you feel. So it's definitely a balancing act, and not saying I do it perfectly, I obviously don't, but yeah, sleep is definitely an important part for me, and just for recovering, especially like after like a weekend of rugby, getting enough sleep is really important for me. Just how like otherwise I just feel like crap.
Yeah, 100%. That's definitely something I've been struggling with, especially because I've been in a sorority the past year now, and I'm usually out really late, and it really messes up my schedule. But this semester I've been on it. I've been trying to fix that.
Good.
That's
Yeah,
awesome. Um,
Yeah.
thanks.
I, I think it's almost like it's like the benefit and the curse of having such a broad topic. There's so many different directions to go.
Yeah.
But I want to ask, like before we keep going, before we get swept downstream more, you said you're in a sorority. You want
I
to share
am.
with the viewers what that's like? You're our first sorority member.
Oh my gosh,
Mm.
yes. Delta
Oh, that
Gamma.
is true. Wow.
Delta Gamma. That's my sorority. It's
Anchor
been
down.
anchor down. There you go. Yeah, good. Yeah.
Oh, look at Ian! Look at Ian! Look at Ian go!
You
That
can
was
be
so
in
cute, Ian.
of DG.
Aw,
No, it's been great. I've met a lot of great girls. I've met a lot of guys in fraternities. Definitely like
wow.
broadening my scope of people at Lafayette. Oh, what's that face
Nice.
for you?
Oh,
Oh, okay.
Ian wants some sorority girls.
I can put you on some. I probably have a couple that would actually love you.
Oh,
it's all right. I appreciate it.
Okay. But yeah, I've taken a position on honor board for the sorority, and that's basically like a confidentiality group. And if a problem arises in the organization, we have to address it and like apprehend that person. But we also focus a lot on mental health and just the well being of the members, and I've had a really big part in that. So that's something I've been focusing on a lot this semester, and just making sure all the sisters are doing well and, just
nice.
supplying with them with resources they need. So I
Yeah,
have a
that's
lot of
awesome.
sorority. I could
Nice.
definitely use a break though some weekends.
Yeah, I mean, I think that goes back to like our habits. Like, how do you like, balance everything between like, a social life, schoolwork, also having time for yourself to just relax.
Yeah.
How do you manage all of that?
Well, I do try and go out almost every time there's a social event, just because
Mhm.
I think people expect me to go out at this point because I don't know if you guys know, but I like to have fun and party a little bit.
Oh, we know.
Yeah. Um, but on top of that, work and academics will always come first for me. Um,
Yeah.
so if I don't get something done, I'm gonna stay in. If I have a test the next day, I'm gonna study for it. It's just prioritizing different aspects of your life. But also focusing on me, something similar to what Ian was saying earlier. I've really made like a good morning routine for myself, and that's made all the difference. I usually go to the gym in the mornings. I'll, I don't know. I just have a really good morning routine, so that's helped keep me sane through it all.
Nice. I think one thing probably me and Ian can probably balance out more, is definitely having more time to like, go out and do fun things. I you know, don't have a lot of time as it is. I'm pretty busy, but when I do have time, it's always good to make an effort to like hang out with friends and do stuff, like go
Yeah,
out and experience new things, because that's where all your fun memories are made, you know. And I think a big part of college is not only, obviously academics, but it's also the people you meet, connections that are formed.
yeah,
So yeah, and the experiences you have, another point in your life where you're going to be like, just hanging out with a bunch of people your age. So yeah, I think definitely taking advantage of that is something, I should prioritize a little bit more, and definitely
yeah.
important.
My mom always said that. She said, "You'll never have a time like this again, where you can just kind of have, freedom and autonomy to do whatever you want, really." Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, enjoy it, but also balance it. It's all about
mm,
moderation. So,
Yeah,
that is true.
yeah.
for sure.
But yeah, that's the sorority. I love it. I'm in the house. I'm living here. I got randomly selected to live here. I was forced into the house. Yeah, I love it. Even though there was a bat here the other day and it almost bit me.
Oh,
Yeah.
you almost got coronavirus.
Yeah.
That could have been bad.
Could have, but I didn't. I'm a survivor. I'm a
Nice.
fighter.
Um, yeah, Ian, anything you want to add on? I have some questions, but they're kind of off topic, but
Yeah, I mean, I think you guys hit it pretty well. I would say I feel like I read this line once. I was just like a New York Times article about going to college, and it was like the recommendation was just to be like a sponge to soak up like as much as you possibly could. I think that's something that I tried to do. Like, you obviously don't want to overextend yourself, but I think
yeah.
we we underestimate how much time we actually have. And so, I don't know, sometimes for me, I just feel like I'll just like, if it's something I'm interested in, I want to do it, like I'll just keep adding it in. And then I think I know my own limits well enough that if I have to pull back, I will. But, I haven't really hit that point yet. And
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I feel like, especially now, I kind of just say yes to almost too many things, but I don't regret it because like there's no other better time to say yes than now in your
Yeah.
life, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Cool.
well, that was very very cool, Ian. Very very cool. Um, yeah. Okay. Well, Ian, do you have anything else you want to add?
um,
I have a question.
you can ask your question.
So, Marina, what's it like being a girl?
You you know, um,
Because
being
I have no experience. Ian, who's behind you? Who's behind you right now? Ian, who's behind you? Ian, who's behind you? Ian, who's behind you?
You know.
who is it? I don't
Who is that?
know.
Is that Jarvis?
No.
It's Jarvis.
No, it's not.
It's Jarvis.
No,
Who's
it's not.
Jarvis?
Ian's roommate.
Is he
No.
single? No, I'm kidding.
He is, yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh, he's so cute.
Please
Um,
stop.
to go back to your question, um, being a girl is awesome. I mean, it definitely has its benefits, but sometimes it is hard, especially in today's society. Um, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. I love being a girl.
Mm,
It's empowering.
I disagree.
Okay, so why do you
Okay.
disagree? Let's talk about this.
I like being a guy. I think it's cool.
Would you say that guys are superior to girls?
No, personally, I wouldn't say that. I feel like I believe in equality.
Yeah.
But I've heard some murmurs from Ian, just a couple seconds ago that, he thinks the other thing. He thinks that men are superior. Um,
Okay, why don't I jump
pretty,
in
pretty.
here? Can I
That's
go
what you
first?
thought. That's literally what you said in chat, bro. That's what you said in
No,
chat.
it's not.
That's literally what you said in chat.
Can I go?
Sure.
Okay. Um, right off the bat, I just want to say like my least favorite thing in the world is period cramps. I hate them. I just want to say
Oh my god. Right. Yeah.
Okay. In all seriousness,
Yo,
though.
Maria, you gotta show this to all your sorority friends. Ian,
They're gonna
is a
watch
great
it.
guy. He's a
In
great
all
guy. He feels for you.
He's an empath. He will take care of you like no other man will, and
Mm.
he feels your pain.
in all
He
seriousness, though.
puts on like electrical shockers
No,
around
I
his
don't. Stop.
around his private
Stop.
area so he can feel what it feels like. He wants to feel the cramps. He does it monthly to feel it.
Stop
He does it
it.
monthly. He
Do
does
you
it
have
once a
one
month.
right
Stop it. Okay.
now? Okay.
Okay. In all seriousness, um, I am curious. Especially in today's society, I feel like there has been general moves for equality, but I feel like there's also the counter current of toxic masculinity, a
Yeah.
lot of that stuff that's been coming out. How is it honestly to be like a young woman in today's society, especially like you're in a sorority? There's a lot of things with frat culture that aren't necessarily always the healthiest towards
Yeah.
women. Like, what's your experience been like? Do you have any insights to share?
Well, I go to a very small liberal arts college, and I think that's definitely shaped my experiences with frats because the guys there are like really nice guys. I feel safe with them always, but I have friends in big southern sororities and they have like totally opposite experiences. So I think it really depends on the environment you're in. At college so far, I've had a great experience with guys. To an extent. I mean, there are some not nice guys, but I felt
I don't
safe
know.
always. Um, but I think like outside of Lafayette, especially with this new presidency and other stuff that's happened in the past, reproductive rights that's been stripped, which is something that has affected me because I think I have such a passion for that and just justice in general for that. I was raised by two women. Feminism is a very big thing in my life. So that's definitely something that's really saddened me to see. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome. That was a good question.
Chris, you got anything you want to
Do you
add?
have any like questions about girls? Because I know that can be a hard thing to.
Yeah,
Chris?
like for like our audience is primarily male based, I would say.
Yeah.
A lot of them are, a little bit at least a little bit like socially divergent,
Hmm.
when it comes to talking to women. How would you advise, one of our viewers, to go up and talk to a woman, because they don't have a lot of experience with that.
Yeah. I would, you know, smile at them first, and if you get a smile back, go
Mm,
up to them. If you don't, you probably shouldn't. But just start with like a friendly, hey, what's your name? Keep it pretty surface level, but then just be polite to them. Um, yeah, it's really easy. We're simple creatures, but no, that's funny you say that.
no.
A lot of guys at Lafayette, they don't really like talking to girls, so I've learned how to go up to men.
Mm.
So,
Oh, wow.
yeah, I think it's kind of reversed a little bit that girls are now the ones
So you're
approaching.
alpha.
Yeah, I would say so.
Mm, mm.
I would say so.
And would you consider yourself an alpha or a beta?
Um,
Or Sigma.
I don't even know what that means, but
probably a I don't probably I would say like I would be like more of the lone wolf type in that scenario. You know what I mean?
That's poetic. I like that answer.
Yeah. Can I
Chris,
ask a
what about
follow up?
you? Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I didn't want to interrupt you. Are you still
No.
going?
No.
You sure?
Well, I just want to know
you
what
sure? You
Chris.
sure?
Are you an alpha or a beta?
Which one am I?
Yeah.
I'm an alpha.
I don't know about that.
You can tell by the way you answered that he's a beta.
Yeah.
The fuck you mean?
The way you said it.
Everyone you ask will say alpha. Everyone. They're scared. People are scared of me here.
I would say
I'm
beta.
intimidating.
Can
For
I share my,
me?
yeah, can I share my first story of Chris Carr?
I'm
Yes.
scared. Okay,
Can
I don't
I
know.
say how we met?
I
So,
don't even remember.
yeah, of course you don't.
I don't know.
Um, Basically, it was junior year. I walk into the hottest teacher's classroom, Doc Zone, and in the corner, not talking to anyone, is this little guy, Chris Carr. And I somehow got the privilege of being in his lab group. And I made it my mission that year not to study chemistry, but to, really get to know Chris Carr and break him out of his shell a little bit. And I think I did that. I think we got really close that year. You helped me a lot in that class. Thank you. Um, but yeah, and I mean, in that situation, I was the alpha, you know?
No, I think you're right. Maybe I was beta then, but I think I've changed. I think I'm alpha now.
That's fair.
Um,
Yeah.
but no, I mean that is very true. Yeah, I think I kind of forgot about that. But yeah, junior year, it's kind of weird to think about. But like just a couple years ago, I was like a lot quieter, a lot less confident in myself, very
Yeah.
very reserved. Compared to now, it's kind of crazy to think about. Um, But
Same here.
yeah, I mean, all right, buddy.
I just said
Um,
same. I just said same here.
Yeah,
all right,
I
buddy.
mean, I've known Ian basically my whole life, but I guess I really only got close to him, what, junior, like end of junior year, maybe,
Yeah,
Cool.
ish, senior year.
yeah.
Yeah, but Marina and I became good friends, after that,
You were my son for a
or
little bit.
yeah, and then we got some divorces,
Yeah, for
um,
the better.
Rip Rex, miss you. Text me. You didn't respond to my text. Um, yeah. I wonder what Rex is doing right now.
Oh my God.
Let's steer the conversation back.
Yeah, next conversation.
Okay. I did have a follow up question. So,
Hmm.
um, I'm curious about like your thoughts on the relationship world today, because I feel like there's a lot of different vocab that's thrown around. A lot of people want different things like casual,
Yeah.
real. What's your
Mm.
perspective as like a college aged girl? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Um, well, I guess like in my love life or my
Just
life.
like your general perspective. Like,
Yeah.
what do you? What's your perception of what guys want versus what girls want? What should
I
people
think
want in general?
I think it really depends where you are at life. I mean, a lot of guys, in my perception, and I think a lot of girls have shared this same experience. Guys will kind of lead them on in a way and act like they really care about you, but then, they kind of ghost you or just ditch
Mm.
you. That's not all guys, but it's definitely a majority of them because I think they just don't want to settle down or they think that they're hot shit and they're not. But, you know, let them do their thing. I mean, me personally, I came into college not wanting a relationship and I hooked up with a lot of people, but I realized that's not for me. I know. Um, and, this semester I am looking not for a relationship, but just to, settle down, calm down a little bit.
Wow.
Um, but guess I'm waiting for the right guy. But Lafayette kind of sucks because the student population is like very, very small. But yeah, I think it really depends on what you're looking for at that moment in time. I think for the most part, girls are more likely like willing to settle down and have something serious than guys in college. I don't know if you guys can agree with that, but yeah, I would love to hear a guy's perspective.
Well,
Um,
I would say Chris is going to give a great answer, but I would just like interject before that. For anybody watching, me and Chris are not your average guys.
No,
Just so you know that.
yeah, you guys are like the standards. Yeah.
I think it really depends on the people you surround yourself with. Um, a lot of my friends, I would say, all my guy friends here, I would say that's not typical of them. Um, but I also know, some of my more distant friends, yeah, that's stuff they would do. So I think it varies a lot for the most part. And I think there's a lot of truth behind that. I feel like the average guy, it's scary to uh, commit to someone, especially in college when, there's so many people around, and it's really easy to constantly like, look for someone better, think, oh, there's gonna be someone better, and have that mentality of like, always looking for something better. But like at the same time, that is an awful mentality to have because then you really miss what's in front of you a lot of the time. Um, so yeah, I think for the most part, a lot of guys should, and girls, I think need to, like re-evaluate, where you are and, what's in front of you. Not saying like every person you talk to should lead to something long term. I think that's ridiculous, but I think especially now, that's definitely a culture of, just like, you know, these like situationships and whatnot.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah,
I mean, I was talking about that with my friends the other day. Like, as soon as you find something that you don't like in a person, like, you kind of automatically just block them out.
hmm
And I think people have to realize that you're never going to find a perfect person because that doesn't exist. Um, and I don't know,
yeah,
you just gotta be, I think you have to be patient, but you also have to be grateful for what's in front of you. I mean, I've always picked the wrong guys, I think, in my life. And I've always never said yes to the nice guys, and that's something I'm starting to do, and it's been great. So it's definitely 100% the
wow,
people you surround yourself with, too.
yeah. I mean, Ian, you're a nice guy.
I've offered
You
myself
know,
to Ian so many times, and every time I get denied. I just want to put that out there for the world to know.
maybe one day.
I doubt it.
He's so uncomfortable.
Yeah,
Look,
I
he's
know.
turning red.
Okay,
Maybe you have anything to say?
I'll add my 2 cents to the conversation.
Yeah, please.
Um, yeah, I think it's also, um, Chris, you mentioned the word situationship, which I think it's a great word. I don't think it's great in general, but um,
Yeah,
I really think how we talk to people these days is so important. Kind of the advent of technology dominating our world socially.
yeah,
I
yeah.
think,
That's yeah. No, there's something that I mean, I think you're just gonna touch on it now, but definitely the impact of social media. Especially, this is not something I do, but a lot of people are constantly on these dating apps and whatnot. And it's crazy. I don't know. That's something I've never done, but yeah. Anyways, yeah, that definitely impedes a lot of people's decision making.
yeah, I think yeah, dating apps. I wasn't even thinking about that, but that's a great point. But then I also think a big one's like I think Snapchat. Like it's so common to hear people talking about who they're snapping. I know me personally,
Yeah,
I snap like 6 or 7 people, and it's just my closest friends. So I guess that's like a foreign concept for me. I think like it contributes like because you could be snapping somebody like that you're interested in for a couple months, right? And that gives you absolutely no idea of where you stand with that person. I
Yeah.
think that there's a lot to be said for like actually going with somebody, sitting down with them and getting to know them and then making a
yeah,
decision based on that. But I think a lot of people these days view that as too serious of like a first step,
yeah,
like to be like a viable option.
Yeah. You bring up a really great point. I saw this trend, like what you just described, really like start to pick up after the pandemic and during it. And I think people have just gotten lazy. Not even with just like romantic relationships, just communicating in general. I think a lot of people just prefer, you know, online platforms like Snapchat, social, social media, dating apps, and it's kind of sad because like I think a lot of people would just love to get coffee and just meet in person, but like you said, it's just considered too serious. And I don't know, that stigma, it needs to be broken.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, you know, I know me and Ian are working on breaking that stigma. I want to, shout that out.
I mean, Nate
We're
did
making
it,
us.
right?
Nate did, yeah, Nate, no, yeah, Nate did. Julian, not so much. Um,
No.
yeah.
Maybe
Anyways,
maybe one day though. Maybe soon.
one can hope. But yeah, um, yeah, I don't know. I just think especially social media, like, it's just like I see people's feeds, and it's just like I don't know, it's kind of disgusting. Um,
No, yeah.
yeah, like the amount of like people to I don't know how to describe. It's not mine. Mine's just animals and sports and fun things. Um,
Yeah. You're always
yeah,
sending me.
social media. Yeah, social media. You're constantly viewing people, um, and dating apps. Constantly, it's just a constant like circle of like, you know, you think that there's always someone better. and you fantasize about that, which is like really, really, really unhealthy.
Yeah.
But
And I think
yeah,
that goes back to healthy habits. Like, protect your own peace, focus on your own life, focus on the present, what's actually happening, and not what could be. Um, yeah.
yeah, I completely agree, and I think one least thing that I've learned is that like if you want to be happy and with other people, you know you have to be happy by yourself first. You can't use anyone else in your life as a source of happiness. If you
Yeah.
actually genuinely want to feel content and happy by like you have to do it by yourself. And that yeah, that goes back to having those habits in place to like create a strong foundation, build your confidence up, and because at the end of the day, like sad as it is, people only care about themselves. And if you can't, if you have to rely on other people to constantly save you, it's just a bad circle to be in.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I've learned that the hard way, and it sucks because it creates like dependency and that leads to a toxic relationship. So, always
Yeah,
prioritize your health first and then allow others to come into your life.
yeah, I completely
Mm.
agree.
T. Nope. What is that? You're so
Like
Nelk. You're so Ferda.
milk, like for the milkage, full said.
I
Yeah,
guess.
Okay, well, yeah. I mean, to interrupt maybe the random shout out of words from Chris, I have a potential. Are you serious? You're gonna frown at me?
I joined this podcast to have fun, Ian. And when we're having Mr. No Fun here, trying to shut it down, you know, like it kind of makes me not want to do this anymore.
Okay.
You know, I
Maybe this is a toxic relationship now.
it
It could
might
be.
be.
I could sense some tension, honestly, from the moment this started. I'm like, oh God.
I think you're right. And I've been waiting. Ian's been so mean to me, and he's never apologized to me once.
I mean, not to side
When?
with
So,
Chris, but it's just been nothing but
Whoa,
negativity.
whoa, 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 whoa. Chris, you said I've never apologized to you once. You made me apologize to you live on last week's podcast. And then you said good boy afterwards.
Oh?
I don't remember. I don't remember that.
It's on the last podcast. It's
I don't
video.
think that happened.
Are you serious?
There's evidence.
I don't like when people try to gaslight me. Um, I think it's kind of ridiculous that we're falsifying topics now.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I was gonna suggest a potential like move into a final topic maybe to wrap things up if you guys are receptive to that.
Yeah.
Um, okay. So we've been
You're being a
talking.
good sport,
Thank you.
Chris. Oh,
Oh, am I not being a good sport? Or is it just Chris?
yeah, I don't know.
Well,
We had some tension earlier, me and you. You didn't talk to me. So,
yeah, just for context, Marina joined earlier and we were waiting, and she didn't talk to me at all. She joined, she didn't say hi. I was just sitting here, so that was really that was really nice.
yeah, I was. It's because I was a woman, probably. But it's fine.
Probably. This is what it's all about: giving women the platform to speak, to not be afraid to share.
Exactly. Okay.
All right, so I was going to suggest, like, we've been talking about all this great stuff. We talk about friends, sleep, nutrition, everything, right? But I think, like, a really important one for me that I didn't necessarily
Did he
think
leave?
about. Did he leave the podcast? Is he serious? Okay, he left. I don't know. I don't
Okay.
know if he's coming back.
Oh,
He said he died. Oh, his computer died. All right, let's see if he can join on his phone. Okay, well, I guess.
I can pretend to be Chris if that would help.
Okay, what do you want to talk about, Chris?
What does Chris talk about? All Chris does is just complain. um, let's talk about, I don't know, what was your, go with your topic, and I'll just say what Chris would say about it.
Okay. So I was gonna say the importance of maintaining strong relationships with your family while at school. So
Yeah.
I was curious about what your experience with that's been. If you want to talk about your family a little bit, you know, give the viewers a little context about how awesome your family is.
As Chris or as me?
I mean,
I'll
I
go
guess,
with me.
yeah.
Let's hope that Chris gets back. Um, my family's great. I think my family is one of the best groups of people you'll ever meet. I have two moms and an older brother. I mean, talk about diversity. They're all gay. I'm the minority. Um, and I think that's been really great for my upbringing, especially in a very traditional town as Haddonfield. What's up, big dog?
You know, Ian hacked my computer. He broke my computer, and now I have to use my phone. This is ridiculous. Like, I don't even know what to do. Whatever.
Are you?
You're fine. You're fine.
What does that mean that I'm at 9%? You guys are at 99%. What does that mean?
Um,
I don't.
I don't.
I don't know.
We ran out of time.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Um, but no, staying in touch with my family. We text every day. I'm really close with my brother. He's my best friend.
Oh.
I FaceTime him once a day. I text my mom's at least once a day. Um, but yeah, my family's my support system. They always have been. They always will be. And I think I couldn't do college without them. I'm forever grateful for them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what we're talking about, but I completely agree. I think having, uh, like having, especially family members, there's very few people in your life that you can always, will always be there for you. So having a good relationship with your family is always important. Not saying I'm the best at that, but definitely an important thing to do.
Yeah. Speaking of family, my mom, she actually walked in on me watching the podcast and she watched it with me. It was late.
Wow, what'd you think?
She loved it. She
Wait,
actually wants to be a guest.
what episode?
Actually,
Hates.
Oh, and she
that's not
loved
even a
it?
good episode. That's not even a
Oh
good
my God,
episode.
she's gonna love the other ones.
No, she loved them. So
That's
yeah,
great.
she would love to be on it, she said. To
Wow.
shout out to her.
Yeah.
She might be watching this.
Be awesome. Maybe like
Hopefully.
our first adult guest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. That'd be great.
But yeah, love family.
For
Yeah,
sure.
we should have all the parents on at some point.
Yeah,
I think my dad wants to come on.
I think my dad does too.
Yo, maybe it could be a joint one. Wow. We'll see.
Mr. Carr, Mr. Talty together.
That's like
Yeah,
a crazy duo.
That'd be hilarious. I'm all for it.
That'd be awesome.
Guys should have your siblings on. Jack and Allison. I love Allison. I think Allison is the best person ever.
She's alright.
I was in Durham this weekend, and I wanted to. I asked Ian if maybe Alice and I could hang out, and Ian said no, it's not allowed.
I mean,
Oh my
so
god,
bad.
we're gonna take her on a
That's-
date?
No, we were just hang out.
What would you do, Ian, if Chris became your brother-in-law?
That'd be awesome.
What do you say?
But don't worry, that won't happen, Ian.
I guess I'm like, it's better than some like bad guy. At least I know Chris is a great guy. I like him. We'd be able to be
Oh, wow.
together for like family holidays, but
Yeah. Would
It was a
you
crazy thought.
I definitely would give him a hard time about it.
would you rather have
He'd be paying for my meals for the rest of my life.
I think he would do that. He's a good guy. Right? Right, Chris?
I don't think that this scenario. I don't think this scenario is happening. So
Let's play it out a little longer.
Hypothetically.
What do you mean, hypothetically? It's not gonna happen.
That's the whole point of
It
it.
will never happen. I was joking. And now we have this weird conversation.
This is what happens when you joke, Chris. It's
And
consequences of
then,
your
you
actions.
know, all the, whatever. Allison definitely doesn't watch this, though. At least your parents
No,
did.
she doesn't. Yeah, my dad does.
Well,
Big shout
well.
out. Dad, hi.
Hi, Mr. Talty.
yeah, this is a great conversation.
Poor Allison.
Yeah. I mean, maybe we could have Jack on at some point, I guess.
Jack's my
Yeah.
favorite twin, if I'm being honest.
Why?
I just,
He didn't do
I
anything.
think he's a really nice person, and he's really funny.
Like, I'm not? Like, what?
You know, you have your moments.
I think I'm better in every category. I don't think it's even close. But, you know, you
Well,
say
he's
whatever.
he's taller. He's taller than you.
Is he taller?
Yeah.
Who's older?
I don't know who's older, Chris. I think we have our answer.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Is this the end?
well, is there anything else you'd like to share, Marina? Any words of advice for anybody watching? Any last thoughts about, you know, what it's like being a woman? Advice to the men out there? Anything at all? Your pick.
I'll give some advice to the woman and to the men. To the girls out there, you know, support one another. We're in this together. We shouldn't be hating on each other. It's all about positivity. And for the guys, be mindful of women and be kind to them and be very, what's the word? Like, I don't know. Do things intentionally, you know? Like, don't
Considerate.
be a dick. Yeah, thank you. That's the word. Yeah, be considerate. Just be a good human. Yeah. I don't know.
That's
Shout
awesome.
out to all the girls. I love all the girls.
Yeah, we love you, girls. All of you out there.
Well,
Right, Chris?
yeah. Go girls.
Go girls.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we had Marina on. You know, it was great to, you know, add some diversity. You know, now that we have had a girl on, we can go back to having, you know, men. Finally. So glad we got this one out of the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was great. Thank you for coming on. Always appreciate talking to you, Marina. It's always good to catch up.
Thank you guys for having
yeah.
me.
I mean, today was pretty broad topics. I mean, and you know, I think there's a lot more things we could talk about.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of stories to share. You know, a lot more stuff we never even got into. So, I mean, I'm sure I don't know about Ian, but we'd love to have you back on at some point.
I would so be there. I'm not the
Absolutely.
biggest conversationalist, but I'm always here to add a few comments.
Awesome.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Thank you guys. Do I hang up now?
No, I stopped the
I
recording.
don't.
We're good.